Disclaimer: this review features a collectible item and it's for adult collectors ages 13 and up only. It is not intended for children. So if you are age 13 or below, please stop watching this video now. Thank you. Hello everyone, WerewolfLydia here and welcome back to a new action figure review on my channel. So today, as you can see, I am doing a review on another and basically the newest addition to my Universal Monsters collection from NECA Toys, and this is the Bride of Frankenstein. Basically the first ever female monster, if I'm correct, or at least in this collection, and I'm really happy because until now we only got guys. So now we have a female monster, and she's, you know, the Bride of Frankenstein. And by the way, the movie came out in 1935, if I'm correct. Unfortunately, I never saw this movie either. I really wish there was like a platform somewhere or like a streaming service where you can actually watch these old movies, because I wasn't lucky in finding them. But if you know a source where I could watch them, please let me know in the comments down below, because I am really interested in seeing and getting to know these old Universal Monsters movies, these old black and white movies. And by the way, guys, let me just tell you, I think the front of the box is like, it has the poster, or at least one of the posters of the original movie, and I think it's really hilarious because we can see the bride over here, and of course Frankenstein, or the monster, Frankenstein monster, and she's like, I don't know, they just seem like an old married couple, because she's like talking to him and he seems like super annoyed and kind of like ignoring her, and I just think it's super funny. And by the way, it's a beautifully like originally hand painted poster, but I just think it's super funny and it fits the whole I guess the whole theme, because I'm not exactly sure, because as I said before, I didn't see the movie, but I don't think this whole thing worked out for the monster, but I may be wrong. So yeah, as usual, I'm going to show you guys a up close of this beautiful collector box, and after that I will unbox the bride herself, and we'll see how cool she is and what she comes with. So let's get started. So here is a close-up of the front of the box, and this is the usual collector type of box that we see, that it has that flap that opens in the front. So as I said before, we have the monster over here, like kind of like a half of his face, and there's also the bride from the side, and yes, she seems pretty angry, and there are some like lightning bolts in the background, and I'm not sure what that was supposed to represent. Maybe the sky, and I don't know, like maybe rain or something like that. It kind of seems like it, judging from those lines, but I could be wrong. And up here it says more fearful than the monster himself, and judging from this picture, I can honestly believe that. It says Carl Lemel, again, sorry if I butchered that name, presents the Bride of Frankenstein. And it says starting Karloff, so Boris Karloff played the monster in the first movie, and we can see that now he, or back then actually, he picked up the role and came back as the monster. And there are some other actors over there. I'm guessing maybe Valerie Hobson, or maybe Elsa played the bride, I am not sure. It says Ultimate Bride of Frankenstein, Universal Pictures, and directed by James Whale, etc, etc. It says the same thing on the top of the box. It says ages 17 and up, so this is not a children's toy for sure. It's a collectible item. It says NECA. Now here on the side we get the first picture of how the bride looks, or the you know, the figurine, because this is a promo picture of the figurine. Again, it says Bride of Frankenstein, and it says Universal Monsters, NECA, and Real Toys. this is the back of the box. We get more awesome promo shots of the bride herself, and we get a chance to see of the like the options we have for this figurine, which is really awesome. Again, it says Bride of Frankenstein, and down there with little letters it says includes bandages, a removable gown, 2 pairs of hands, and 3 interchangeable heads. So yeah, that's what she comes with. She doesn't seem to come with a stand, so I hope that she will be able to stand up. Some of these Universal Monster figurines do come with stands, some of them don't, so I don't know, maybe some of them are more well balanced. And on this side, again, we get to see another promo picture of her with just the bandages on, and honestly, with like this, how she looks with all the bandages, she could very well be like the bride of the mummy, in my opinion. Now, if we open up the flap, which has a little velcro, there is her inside there. If my camera would just focus, there we go. Sorry about the glare, guys, but you know, this is a plastic piece, a plastic front, and you can kind of see the monster inside there with the extra pair of hands and some extra bandages, and yeah, the extra heads. Seems really cool, and I really love that they made her gown like actual material, and it's not like a stiff plastic. And on this side we get a full, beautiful full picture of her and how she looks. She seems really awesome and really scary and fierce, in my opinion. I really like how she looks. So yeah, now just give me a minute to get her out of her plastic prison, and I'll be right back to show you guys all the details and articulations and whatnot. And I'm back, and as you can see, I have unboxed my awesome Bride of Frankenstein figurine, and she is really cool, and I do think I mentioned that before, but I really do love that they gave her a this big flowy dress, I guess I could call it a dress, because it just falls so naturally and it looks really natural and good on her, especially if you want to take like photos of her or something. So I really like it, and I really appreciate that they didn't like put a plastic like rubbery plastic piece on her with molded waves and whatnot. So yeah, I really appreciate it. I think it looks really cool, and since it's white, it does not stain the figurine, thank God. So it does not have the same staining problem as with Dracula. You know, Dracula's cape had that problem. As you saw my review of from the same line of the Universal Monsters Dracula. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention before we move on with the review is that she has kind of like a bit of trouble with the balancing, and I'm guessing it could be because of the dress. I'm not saying it's heavy, but since it's wide, it does have a certain weight to it, and it's bigger in the back part of the figurine, so it could be it could play a role in her balancing issue, but it also could be because her head is like, especially her hair is like really big, so that could cause her again to fall back. And unfortunately, she does not come with one of those little circle foot stands that they usually, or sometimes include with these figurines. So I would have appreciated if they included one of those little stands to be able to balance her a little bit more, but you know, it is what it is. So otherwise, she did come with a few accessories, not a lot, and not like super interesting little pieces. Some of the other Universal Monsters came with much more accessories, so I'm guessing she didn't really have anything, I don't know, in common with her in the movie. I don't know, because as I said before, I never saw these movies, unfortunately. Yeah, she does not come with a lot of accessories, and her accessories include like 2 exchangeable heads, plus the third one is on her, on the figurine, 1 pair of exchangeable hand, and some other little bits and pieces that I will show you guys in just a second. And of course after that we will move on, and I'll show you guys the details on this figurine, because she is really beautiful and beautifully painted and sculpted as usual. And we'll take a closer look at her articulation as well. So with that being said, let's get started. So starting off with one of her exchange heads, as you can see, it is pretty scary, but also at the same time like really beautiful and natural looking, in my opinion. I don't know whoever painted these, but did a really good job on them. I really like it. Now you may notice that it is interesting. So this figurine doesn't just like, you don't just exchange the head. It also has a neck part, and actually like a little bit of the lower part of the neck as well. You can see over there, and that is because the figurine's whole body is like wrapped. It has like this mummy wrap, and that doesn't really change as far as I know throughout the movie. So only the face changes, and this is how they managed to do that. I think it's a great idea, and it fits. So yeah, the head does change from the neck basically, or the base of the neck, but it does have like a separate articulation in the upper head, so no worries over there. Otherwise you can see that this is like a open mouth. I'm guessing she is screaming, or maybe she's like super surprised about something, because she has a open mouth, and I'm not sure how well you can see that, but the teeth and the mouth and everything is just so nicely painted. And I really like how the tongue inside there is like has a shiny coat of sealant or something, because it gives you like a impression that it's like, you know, wet. And the lips actually are like a dark brown. Really like the teeth over there. So yeah, really beautiful. And now her eyes, I honestly, they are so small, I can't really tell if they are like brown or I guess it's like more of a dark blue. And around her eyes she has like these either it's like a eyeshadow, or she hasn't slept well, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's really nicely painted and nicely sculpted. Now her hair is, as you can see, it's really big, poofy and wavy, and it is a brownish red color. And what really surprises me is that it's this color. So whenever I think of the Bride of Frankenstein, I think of black hair, and it's probably because it's like a mistake that we all make, since the movie is black and white, but I'm guessing this was the original color. So it's really interesting that they used the original color. So they did a good job on like researching these movies, and because usually whatever other type of Bride of Frankenstein figurine or doll I saw, all of them had black hair with the zigzag wavy white lines or white pieces of hair going on both sides, as you can see. But yeah, the hair otherwise usually it is black. So I'm really surprised and actually really glad that they did a little bit of research on her hair color. It's really cool. And you may have noticed these awesome lines or cuts around her face, and also on her neck over there. As you can see, it goes underneath her chin and onto this side. So that is, you know, from the process of making her. She is a Frankenstein monster. So she is, and probably her whole body is wrapped, because she was also put together from multiple person's body parts and sewn together, just like or stitched together, just like the original Frankenstein monster. So it's really cool. I really love those details. And by the way, sorry if her face and the whole thing is shiny, but she is a pretty pale figurine, pretty pale woman, and that's why it's so shiny on my camera for some odd reason. So yeah, this is one of the exchange heads, and it's, you know, the same head, I guess, as the other one. It's just this one is a more surprised or screaming expression. The other one is closed mouth, but you will be able to see that in just a second. And the other exchange head is really interesting. So this one goes really well with the whole mummy wrap body. And again, as you can see, it does include the neck part and that base. And this one is the wrapped up head. And I don't think I mentioned that before, but her like body and the mummy wraps, it is not the exact same thing as the mummy figurine from this line, because she is a female body, and her mummy wraps aren't as old as the mummy head. So I guess that makes sense, but just throwing that out there. But yeah, this is the wrapped up face, and you can only see her eyes in there. And yeah, those are definitely like this really interesting, kind of like a teal blue color. And she is peeking out from underneath the wraps. And you can see that the top of the head has these like little metallic stitches on it as well. I'm curious to see how this head looks with the whole wrapped up body. I'm pretty sure it looks really cool. Otherwise, not much else to talk about this head, but I really like the wraps, and it gives it a really nice look and really nice details as well. And these are the exchange hands, and they are not that different, honestly, from the other original pair that she comes with on the figurine. These ones have a more wider spread of the fingers. The other one is a little bit more relaxed position, and yeah, these are again wrapped up just like her whole body, and not much else to say about the hands. Of course, they are articulated from the worst, but that's about it for these hands. Onto the other teeny tiny little accessories. I have this piece here that I'm going to call it just like a, I don't know, like a faceplate or something. This is extra little addition to the mummy wrapped head, and as you can see, this is like a upper head wrap piece and that it's made out of bandages, and you can see the nose over there, and it also has those little metallic little stitches or clasps or whatever you want to call those sticking out. And this is actually to put on the mummy wrapped head, and you can kind of snap it on there, and this is how it looks. So it basically covers up her whole face and the eyes that were peeking out earlier. I'm guessing this is if you want to you know, make a scene when she's still it sounds weird if I say that, but it's like she's still fresh out of the oven and before her head was like basically unwrapped, and she's basically just been finished. The project of making her has just been finished, let's put it that way. And her whole face is still covered, and you know, after that they unwrapped her eyes, and you know, after that the whole head. So yeah, it's a little extra piece. You can actually put it on the other heads too, but it looks a little bit weird. Otherwise, I do think it still looks a little bit weird, because let me just put it back on her, because it doesn't like doesn't like fit on fully, and you can see that how it's sticking out of the head, and you know, the lines around it. So if you take a picture or photo of her with this, you have to edit out those little imperfections, because it looks a little bit weird. But you know, it's a little extra something to add to the mummy wrap look of her. And the other two little accessories are these little bandages, little kind of like mummy wraps hanging. One of them is a larger one, and the other one is a smaller one. And this is just one piece. This is two pieces like molded together. These are made out of those like rubbery materials, and as you can see they are like hold up at the top, and you can place these you know, around her waist or her ankles or wherever you wanted to. And by the way, you can kind of unwrap them, as you can see, but it goes right back to the original look. But yeah, just a little extra stuff to add to your figurine, and I do think these add a little bit of coolness to the figurine as well. We had similar little pieces with the mummy figurine as well before. And by the way, I keep mentioning the Universal Monsters mummy figurine. I did a review of him quite some time ago, around the time when he came out, so if you haven't seen that review, you can go ahead and watch it on my channel. It's there, you will be able to find it with the action figure reviews. So those are all the accessories that she comes with. Now let's take a closer look at the actual figurine and her details. So here's a close-up of her face, and as you can see, this one, as I mentioned before, it is a closed mouth look to her. But I have to mention that her lips aren't like fully closed because you can kind of see her teeth over there, so it's a little bit of a I'm not going to say a toothy smile because she is definitely not smiling, but you can see still see I guess those are the front teeth over there, and she has like this really creepy stern look on her face that I really love. It's really creepy, like she's like staring, I'm guessing, at his husband and the Frankenstein monster. Yeah, she has like a really stern look. I really like it. It really does look creepy. Otherwise, you know, it's the same things. It's just beautifully painted with those shallowy, smoky eyes, and you know, the blue. I'm still saying it's like a teal / blue colored pair of eyes, the brown lips, and of course around you can still see the little painted cut. I'm trying to hold the figurine because, unfortunately, as I said before, she can't really stand on her own, so I'm trying to hold it and move it at the same time so that you guys can see the details a little bit better. But yeah, it looks pretty awesome. And of course her hair, it's kind of the same as the other figurine has. I mean, it's the same style, same color, same things. Although to me, somehow it seems that this head has a little bit of a more poofier look. And you can kind of see the difference. So the top part is a little bit more widespread on this one than it is on this one. So it's kind of, this state is kind of like when the hair gel or hairspray starts to come apart, you know, starts to let the hair go a little bit. That's what it reminds me of. But otherwise it is the same style and same color. And I still find it really cool that it is a brown, this reddish brown color, and not black. Moving down, you can still see her neck, and this is the part where it's where you can exchange the head, and we will do that in just a second. Otherwise, as I mentioned, she does come with this beautiful, really simple but really nice and flowy white dress, and it is made out of a stretchy material. It's not hemmed at the bottom, but it is a little bit burned from what I can feel, so that it just, you know, wouldn't come apart. But still, I would recommend being careful with this type of stretchy material because you can cause some pull and some damage in it. And on my figurine, at least, it does need a little bit like ironing in the front, because as you can see, this is where the dress was kind of pinched inside the box, and it doesn't look as neat as I wanted it to be. So it does need a little bit of ironing, but otherwise it is a really nicely made. And you can see it's like a huge, I'm guessing they cut like kind of like a huge circle out of the material, and it is way longer in the back. Or, you know, I guess I could call this like a nightgown as well, not just like a dress. not sure what it exactly is supposed to be. And here in the back you have this little stitching, so it's kind of like laced up in the back with this gray like thread. It's a type of kind of like a braided thread. And if you want to take off her dress, you have to undo this little bow over here in the back and undo these little stitches, or I'm not sure what to call it, the laced up part, and that way you can take off, because otherwise the neck part is way too small for you to slide the figurine out of it, I think, but I haven't tried honestly, so maybe you don't have to deal with that, and you can easily take it off. Otherwise, underneath the dress, and I'm just going to lift her dress, her whole body is basically wrapped up in bandages. I kept telling you guys about the mummy wraps or bandages, and this is how it looks. So hers is like this gray, like light gray colored, and it doesn't really have like any I'm not going to say details in it, because it does have those beautifully molded bandages, but it doesn't have like any paint details. That's what I wanted to say, paint details on it. So it's like just all of it, it's like one color. So I don't know, I would have appreciated if they added a little bit more of like shadows and whatnot. And you can see now the other pair of hands that she comes with. So these are like a little bit more relaxed, while the other pair of hands had like a wide spread of fingers. And this is how she looks underneath. So yeah, her whole body is wrapped up in bandages. The little detail we have over there is two more of those little metallic stitches or metallic clasps, and this is how she looks. The bandages don't have any like holes in it or any other details, so yes, this is a brand new mold, as I said before, different from the mummy's wraps, because it is a female body, but otherwise too it's a brand new mold. And interestingly, I know I complained about she not having a stand, but even if you have like a spare NECA stand, she does not have holes in her feet, so you can't really put her on one of those little circle stands, so that's really interesting. In my opinion, I don't know why they didn't do that, but yeah, so that's pretty much about it, about her details. Again, a really nicely made figurine, but it's lacking some paint details in my opinion, at least on the bandages, but that's just a personal thing. What do you guys think about her details and her looks? And now let's see her articulation points, and we'll try and exchange her heads and see how she looks with some different heads on. Now, as far as the articulation on this figurine goes, it is a really well articulated figurine, as we are used to by now with all the NECA figurines and, you know, the Universal Monsters line. So you can, of course, you've seen this earlier, you can move the head around. It's on a ball joint, and that goes to all of the exchange heads too, of course. There's no movement in the neck itself from over here, because that's, as I showed you earlier, and I will show it to you guys in just a second, that's the part where you exchange it from, so you cannot move it from over there, only the head. But she does have articulation in the upper torso, and you probably saw the articulation point, there we go, underneath her dress, and this one is also on a ball joint. And while I'm at here, I'm going to show you guys the legs as well. So you can, of course, move the legs forward and backward too, to the side too. It goes about that far. There's also movement in the knees. You can bend them they go back about that far, and you can also kind of twist and turn them a little bit about that far, so not too much, but you can still turn them. And there's also articulation in the feet. You can see the joint over there, and she can stand on her tiptoes. It goes about that far to the back and to the front as well. And you can twist and turn it to the sides as well, just like that. So it's kind of on a ball joint as well. A little bit of pivoting over there. So yeah, really nicely made. And now back to the arms. So you can of course move the arms up and down, and you can actually make a 360 with them. I just don't want to force the figurine, but you can. And the arms also go to the side about this far. You can of course move the elbows up and down, and you can also move them around, so there is some pivoting over there. And there is articulation in the worst too. You can move them up and down, just like that. And you can also make a 360 with those as well, so they do turn around really well. And yeah, so those are all the articulation points on this figurine. Really nicely made. Now let's try that head exchange. So you can just easily pull this part out. You can see the peg at the end of it. And I'm going to put the mummy wrap head on because I'm curious to see how it looks with the whole body. And I'm getting kind of a little bit of trouble putting this one in. There we go. So it needed a little bit of push, but now it is in. And you can still kind of see that line over there where you exchange it from, but you can kind of hide that with the dress that she is wearing. And now it fits. This is how she looks when she was still in a mummy wraps. I'm guessing you have to, for this look, you can remove the dress to make it more authentic. I'm pretty sure she did not have the dress on while she was still in her mummy wraps, but I do not want to remove her dress for now. And let's put this faceplate thing on as well. If it would just stay over there. There we go. So now she can see. But it looks good, honestly. I like it without, when you can still see her eyes. It looks awesome. And of course you can easily exchange the hands too. You just have to pull them out like that and put the other hand on, and just like that it's she has a different hand on. And you can also, let's put one of these little wraps around her hand to see how it looks. And this is how it looks. I'm guessing this larger one could go more onto her foot to make it look a little bit more accurate and more better looking, because this one is a little bit loose. So we are going to try the other one. Let's see if I can put this somehow on her hand. There we go. Yes, the smaller one looks much more better and more authentic than the larger one. So yes, the larger one I guess goes on to her ankle instead her waist. But yeah, so that's how you exchange her extra body parts, or yeah, extra stuff. And those are all the articulation points for this figurine. And that's about it for this review of the NECA Toys Universal Monsters The Bride of Frankenstein figurine. The first ever female monster that we got a figurine of, and I'm really happy about that. We definitely need more, although thinking about it, I'm not sure if there are more of them in this, you know, old movies or Universal Monsters line, but I may be wrong. But yeah, I really like her, and as you can see, I put the screaming head on her. I think she looks really awesome with that one as well, but I still prefer the more serious look, more stern look, because I think it's more creepier than the screaming one. But tell me down below in the comments, what do you think of this figurine, and what do you think of the faces that she comes with? Which one is your favorite? And if you like her whole look, the accessories, and whatever you want to, what do you think of the other Universal Monsters and, you know, the whole Universal Monsters line so far by NECA? And I did a review of all of the figurines that came out until now, and I have them in my possession on my channel, so if you haven't seen them yet, you can go ahead and watch them on my channel. I have on the other figurines that are coming out on pre-order, and I will probably receive them sooner or later, and I will do reviews of those as well, of course. So I'm eager to see the other ones live, of course, because I've seen pictures of them, but you know what I'm talking about. So if you like my review, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe if you want to see the upcoming Universal Monster figurine reviews from NECA, or you know, the other kind of toy and doll reviews I do on my channel. I also have a Facebook page. The link will appear on the bottom of the screen, and you can go ahead and follow me over there too. You can also comment over there or like my posts, or whatever you want. And thank you guys so much for watching, and you know, for following my channel, my reviews and my work. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.